What's up everybody, Corey with Freaky Tech Reviews here. So after a frustrating and long wait, the Parrot Pro from Padcaster is finally here. I contributed to its Kickstarter back in June of 2023 after watching Gerald Undone's review, as the idea of the product works perfect for a creator with a small studio space like myself. But it had a delivery date of July of 2023, and that's about the time that all of the issues began. So today, let's take a look at the Parrot Pro and see if it's actually worth all of the heartache that's been associated with it. Now to begin, I want to make a statement about the company of this product, Padcaster. As much as I actually don't want to give a platform to Padcaster because of how the last half year has went, as a product reviewer, it is my job to provide objective and unbiased viewpoints for products regardless of the company's misgivings. So as a consumer, yes, I'm very irritated about this process, the shallow and vague updates, and how community concerns have been addressed, but since it finally came in and I paid for it, I might as well take a look at it and provide some insight for viewers who might also be interested in one. If you want a full breakdown of issues, then I'll list Gerald Undone's update video in the description below where he does do a live chat about the issues and his insight into them. I don't blame him at all for the Kickstarter problems, and as a fellow creator that reviews products, I find it unfortunate that some feel his name is tarnished because of it. But I do think that he addressed it very well, and there is zero blame on Gerald. For the Parrot Pro itself, it's got some things that I do like about it and a list of things that I actually don't. And there's one major issue that it gives one of my lenses that I'll dive into in just a little bit. Starting off, it saves so much space. I was using a bulky tripod with a glide gear teleprompter before, and it took up a lot of room. The Parrot Pro fits onto the lens of my camera and has opened up my recording space quite a bit. My Kickstarter bundle included 6 mounting plates that range from 52mm up to 82mm, but there are expansion packs for plates that include sizes as small as 37mm. It comes in a nice hard-sided case with a dense foam lining and a mesh area that includes a cleaning cloth and a cleaning pin. It did not include the Bluetooth remote that the bundle showed, so I did message Padcaster and they immediately shipped it out and apologized for it not being included. The Parrot Pro itself is extremely light with a rubbery feeling plastic and glass screen, and I will definitely be touching on the glass ghosting effect in just a little bit that so many backers have commented on. But for the build, it does feel a bit flimsy at times when I put my heavier 15 Pro Max on it, but I can't knock it too much because it's supposed to be a lightweight and portable option, so it's not going to feel the most secure. The way it works is by threading one of the provided mounting plates onto your lens using the same threading you would put an ND filter on. I tried it on 2 lenses, a 35mm macro by Canon with a 52mm thread size, and a 24 to 70mm Sigma lens with an 82mm thread size. Now this is where I ran into a big issue because of how my 35mm macro lens focuses. I found that with the plate screwed on, the lens wasn't able to focus because it does so externally by extending outwards. When I had the mounting plate on and then I turned the camera on, it literally started making a straining and grinding sound on the lens motors, which caused the camera to immediately shut itself off, thankfully. It's definitely a scary thing to hear, but thankfully the lens was okay. Really quick, I started thinking to myself as I was editing this video that there's no way the Parrot Pro was designed this poorly so that lenses with external focusing could not be used. So I started doing a little bit of testing with it, and I realized that it was just the weight of the teleprompter itself causing the grinding noise, because as you can see right here, it still focuses correctly with the actual mounting plate on. So I just wanted to correct that really quick, that yes, it still can be used on externally focusing lenses. However, be cautioned because it can tear their motors up from what I heard the first time I put it on. For the larger lens, it worked great because it focuses internally, but it had its own issue that I'll show you in just a minute. Once the threaded ring is on, you slide the entire teleprompter onto the ring where it sits at the end of your lens. You then flip down the phone holder and tighten the side screws to keep it secure. And to keep your phone in place, you flip up the tab and slide the phone towards the glass so that it's nice and snug. Now this is where I ran into a second problem with my larger lens. I typically film at 30mm of focal length, but I found that due to the tab sticking up, it literally showed up as this blurry object in my videos at the bottom of the screen. I had to zoom my lens into at least 35mm of focal length for it to be out of the shot, which is the focal length that I'm using right now. And even worse, once my phone was on it, it showed up even more at the bottom of the screen. In fact, if I just nudge it up a little bit, you can see my phone right there at the bottom of the screen. It is barely hidden out of view. So while this isn't a deal breaker for me, I do find it annoying that I had to change my focal length, but I am glad that I found it before filming an entire video. Let me know in the comments below if I'm using this incorrectly and if there's a way to fix this, but from what I can tell, I think it's just part of the user experience. Another issue that I found when using the Parrot Pro is with the rings themselves that thread onto your lens. Anytime I'm not using my camera, I always have a lens cap on for protection, and I found that with the metal mount mounting plate on, I cannot put any of those caps on unless I unscrew the mounting plate. Again, another minor annoyance, but I did personally buy the Parrot Pro thinking that I could just leave one of these mounting plates on and slip the prompter on and off whenever I wanted to, because oftentimes I'll remove it from where it's sitting right now for my talking headshot to go film B-roll with it, and I wanted that versatility. And technically, I guess I still can use it that way as long as I don't use a lens cap. Now, the most common complaint I saw from fellow backers on the Kickstarter was the glass's ghosting effect. Ghosting is essentially a double reflection on the glass. Most teleprompters have what's called beam splitter glass that uses a specialized mirror coating that both reflects and transmits light at the same time. And because of the mirror coating, you'll have a range of ghosting effects that can double your image, making text very difficult to read. Ghosting actually exists in all teleprompters, but it is more prominent in budget prompters, which is where the Parrot Pro sits in price. In my experience using the Parrot Pro, I found the ghosting to be similar to that of my Glide Gear prompter. It's absolutely noticeable up close, as you can see here, but when you're reading it from a proper distance, it's barely noticeable at all unless you are looking for it. So I can definitely say that the quality of the glass is not an issue, which is good because that was a huge reason as to why this project was so delayed. So let's talk price and if the product itself is actually worth it. I pledged $129 for the bundle that I got, but anyone purchasing after the Kickstarter campaign will have to spend $150 for it. I actually do think that the price point is fine for the Parrot Pro. It falls along the same lines as most other budget teleprompters, and while it doesn't feel as durable as some of those, it's not really designed to compete with them because its function is based on small form factor and saving space. So while I do think that the quality is good enough to consider if you need a prompter like this, would I purchase it again after having my hands on it? I'm not so sure that I would. Again, my thoughts are objective and not based on how the campaign went. This is important because after the 6-month mark, I really started to feel like it was a scam and getting very frustrated, and I still have trouble saying positive remarks about the product because of the experience. And the negative things do stack up a bit, but overall, I don't think they're bad enough to prevent me from using it. It has already replaced my original prompter as I'm using it for this video right now, and I will continue to use it moving forward. So while I wouldn't say that it's a complete letdown to purchase, it also didn't quite meet my expectations personally. But I would love to know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If you were a backer, then I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you weren't, do you actually think that it's worth it? But be sure to subscribe and join the Freaky Tech family and hit that thumbs up as it helps my channel grow so much. But thank you so much for joining today, and I really appreciate you being here. Again, I'm Corey with the Freaky Tech Reviews. I'll see you next time.